So I used to talk to the single mother, right? And basically one day she told me, she was like, yo, like my son's father, my baby daddy, he ended up being gay. And that's like something I'm like super afraid of in like dating again, dating someone else who turns out to be gay. And I'm thinking, I'm like, wow, like you kind of like have a type. And also like, why is she really talking to me? Because not in the sense where it's like, oh, I'm gay, I'm gonna like do stuff to you, but in the sense where it's like, I feel like if you're afraid of your man being gay, like you shouldn't. I feel like I'm only gonna exacerbate that fear. Like I'm not the like my point is I'm not gonna make you feel better, clearly. And I don't know if she was telling me that and telling me that in that way to try to get me to like tell her that I wasn't gay, but it's like I wasn't gonna do that because that's something I refused to do. So it's like I felt like she was kind of looking at me for comfort, like when she was saying it. She's like, yeah, that's one of my biggest fears. But it's like I'm not giving you the answer you want. Like, I'm sorry. And honestly, it's all about perspective. I feel like she had a bad one. Look at my eye bags, by the way. I don't know why it's like this. But basically, it's like she has to think about it from the lens of like, oh my gosh, he might be gay, but I'm just so irresistible that like he can't stay away from me. Like, I feel like that's a big confidence builder, but she saw it as like a confidence downer. Like, when I've talked to women who said that they've been lesbians before they talk to me, I'm like, oh, yeah, like that's so sweet of you to say. But I feel like it is different because for her it happened like in the middle of the relationship. But anyway, said baby daddy hit me up talking about, yo, stay away from my baby mama, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're gay. Like, why do you care? But then I remember when you become a baby daddy, there are things that you performatively have to do, even if you don't feel them in your heart. Okay, you have to be not shit. You have to like stay away from my baby mama. And then if you're the baby mama, you have to go crazy and you have to be like, my baby daddy's not shit, no matter what. These are the rules. And again, I'm fulfilling my role as the new guy. What would Russell Wilson do? I just ignore the message, okay? I'm like this, like I don't want to interact with that part of life right now. I'm just gonna ignore it. But anyways, they obviously both have joint custody of their son. And when they would make like the exchanges, like usually her mom would come and like bring the kid because like they just didn't, like she couldn't interact with the baby daddy just because there was too much bad blood there. And for some reason, her mom was busy this time. I forgot what it was. So she was like, Bryce, would you mind coming and doing the exchange? And I'm like, that sounds hilarious, but at the same time, why me? Like, it's such a high pressure scenario. I don't be telling you all this, but I got like anxiety socially. I'm like, what do I even do? But then she said something that made me feel so comfortable. She's like, when you do it, can you just like annoy him a little bit? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, just like, you can like bug people, just like bug him a bit. And I was like, okay, like, I feel like she was kind of like telling me I was an annoying person. But anyways, I can do that. I know I can. Because before I was worried about making a good first impression. Like, I wanted everyone to think I was cool, But now that I can kind of just lollygag through the interaction, I feel a lot better about that. But then we're in the car on the way over there. And she's like, Bryce, what are you going to say to him? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, you just got to let me do my thing. And she was like, no, Bryce, like, I want to know what you're going to say, though. And I'm like, you told me to do my thing, just let me do my thing. I was like, you can't unleash the beast and then ask the beast like which town it's gonna terrorize, okay? I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna do what I need to do. Let's just like, don't worry about it. Like, just let me do it. And she's like, I know, I just don't want any more drama. And I'm like, if you don't want drama, then why would you tell me to mess with him? Like, why would, you know what I mean? So now I'm like, I'm gonna mess with him extra hard and hoping that drama comes out of this. And that's genuinely how I felt at the time. But then when I got out the car, we were at the rest stop, and I'm taking the kid over. I see in the passenger seat, there's a woman in the passenger seat of the baby daddy's car. And I'm like, now I'm confused. So now I'm like, even if I wasn't just gonna mess with him, I have to ask questions, okay? So now I'm like, I can be my genuine self, but also not have to worry about bugging him, okay? Perfect scenario. Then I remember asking his son, I was like, yo, like, is your dad gay? And he was like, oh, look at my bag, it's red. It was not red, it was a maroon bag, and that's what I told him. And I know maroon is red, but like, trust, it was very like specifically maroon. But we pull up to the car, I'm like, hey, his window's down, baby daddy's like, yo, like, I thought I told you to stay away from my baby mama. I'm like, yeah, like, you said that, but like, it didn't make sense to me, so I just ignored it. Also, like, you're gay, and it looks like you have a girlfriend, so like, why, you shouldn't care. He's like, what do you mean I'm gay? I'm like, yeah, you give men sloppy, presumably, amongst other things. He's like, no. I was like, oh, so you're like more of a bottom? And he's like, no, bro, stop saying that stuff in front of my kid. I was like, dude, he doesn't even know what sloppy is. And then the kid was like, yeah, I know what sloppy is. And I was like, what? And he was like, it means like messy. And I was like, oh, fucking dumbass. He's like, Dad, look at my bag, it's red. And I was like, bro, it's clearly maroon. How many times I gotta tell you? But more importantly, bro, you like DL or something? Like, I can keep it between us, okay? Inner circle of trust. Me, you, your girl, your kid, like, it stays between us. He's like, no, dude, I'm not gay. And I was like, are you just saying that because your girl's right there? She not in on it. And he was like, dude, no, I'm like, for real, not gay. I was like, not like at all? And he's like, no, I can't believe she told you I was. I was like, I can't believe I believed her. I'm so impressionable. I was like, bro, I can't believe she lied on your name. Like, I'm not to say something to her. And he's like, dude, nah, like, don't say anything to her for real. I was like, all right, fine, I got you, whatever. I was lying. Of course I said something to her. The entire car ride back to her place, I was giving her attitude. I was sitting like this the whole time. She's like, what's wrong? I was like, oh, nothing. I need to let her like sit in that fear of like, oh, what did he tell her? So I'm just being weird for a few hours, basically trying to get attention. But then later in the night, she asked me, she's like, yo, like for real, like what's wrong though? And I'm like, yo, I just don't think he's gay. And she's like, well, he is. And I was like, well, he didn't really seem like it, and he told me he wasn't. And here's the thing, her lying on him would actually be a very big deal. Because she didn't just tell me that this guy was gay, she told me that he was an abuser as well. So it's like, yeah, like, fuck this guy, I hate his guts if he's an abuser. But also, I kind of had to talk her down from the whole, like, oh, he abused me because he's gay thing. And it's like, okay, like, let's not steer into homophobia. But anyways, of course, it's like, if she's lying about him being gay, what else would she be lying about? So it was like a very real concern. Anyways, I was like, yeah, he doesn't seem really gay. And she's like, oh, because he didn't hit on you? And I'm like, look, not every gay man is gonna hit on me. I understand that, like, because some of them get really nervous. If I really put the moves on them, I feel like I could make it happen. That's a bit of an aside, but like, like, I got it in me. I believe in myself, okay? But then she dropped a bomb on me, okay? Because she told me she was gay, but she never told me how she found out or anything. But basically, the way she found out is that they were at a party together, okay? And she, like, I don't know, heard something about, like, him being in the bathroom with someone, blah, blah, blah. And she walked in on him having sex, unprotected, raw, in another man's ass. She walked in on her man in another man's ass. Is that not insane? And the craziest part is when she caught him, he did not stop. He kept going. Now, I don't know, I did not ask for details because I'm like, clearly this is like a sensitive issue, but it's like, imagine like he's going to town and then like he sees her and he's like, do you think he was like, no, but then he just like kept going? Or was he like, oh, shoot? Or was he like, close the door? Like, I don't even care about you. Like, I really wonder what he was going with. But you know what doesn't sit right with me about that story? Is she told me, she was like, oh, it wasn't the first time I caught him cheating either, but like he cheated on her like with women. And it's like, so you were like okay with that? But she saw like when he cheated as a man, she was like, oh, like that's when I have to leave, when he cheats with a man. So it's kind of like, homophobia, but this the world we live in, sadly. Can you imagine finding out like that? But anyways, basically I was like, oh yeah, that sounds like gay. Like, it sounds pretty gay. But then also I'm like, is it like him being gay or is it bisexuality? Like the first time I talked about this, I didn't really mention the bisexuality thing. But the thing is like, him, like to me, like when we were talking, he was very obviously like denying that he had ever been with a man. It was like, yes, like I'm saying gay and we're using gay in this way, but it's like, sorry for the erasure, but it's gonna happen regardless. Like I feel like if someone accuses you, because I feel isn't gay like an umbrella term, low key? But anyways, I feel like if someone accuses you of being gay and you're bisexual, you can't just be like, nope, I'm not gay. Like I feel like you low key. Is this offensive? I don't even care. But like I feel like if someone like accuses you of being gay and you're bisexual, you have to be like, and if you choose to answer, you have to be like, no, but I'm bisexual. You know what I mean? You have to like further it up. I actually get like super worried about saying something insensitive to like the gay community, like genuine, because I never want to offend anybody. But then sometimes I'm like, look at me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it can't be, like, that offensive. Like, look. No, but I feel like I have a real point that, though. Because, okay, now that I think about it, I have a great analogy. It's like, say you see a mixed person, and you ask them if they're black, and they just say, like, no. Because they're like, no, I'm actually mixed. You know what I mean? It's like, you have to, like, preface that, be like, oh, no, I'm black, but I'm mixed. Or I'm not black, but I'm mixed. I'm not white, but, Anyway, she's like, yeah, he slept with that guy, raw, unprotected. I caught him, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was crazy. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to confront him about that because he completely like lied to my face. And she's like, no, like don't say anything, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, okay, fine, I won't say anything. But I was lying. Of course I'm gonna confront him. He lied to my face. Something about me is I hate lying when other people do it. And I knew this one bar that dude always went to, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna see him and I'm gonna confront him with the information. So anyways, I went and I saw him and I went up to him. I was like, yo, bro, you told me you weren't gay. And he's like, I'm not. And I was like, she said that she saw you like fucking a man in the ass, like completely raw at a party. Put his head down for a long time. He's like this. He's like, look, I'm not gay, but it's like him. And I'm like, what? And he's like, it's just him. And I'm like, what do you mean it's just him? And he's like he's like the only guy I sleep with. And I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's like, I think you're still attracted to men, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, like I'm sure you're still attracted to men. It's just like, he's like a really like handsome one or something. He's like, no, bro, I swear to God, it's just him. It's only ever been him. And I'm like, what, bro? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I've never like looked at any other man like that. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. I don't think I can believe that. He's like, bro, it's true. I was like, it's like, not even me for real? Now, mind you, I said not even me, but I wasn't interested in bro. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, don't tell me like, oh, there's just this one guy and I'm not the guy. Like, I know I can pull this guy. He's like, bro, I just told you I'm only attracted to him and not any other man. And I was like, bro, shut the fuck up. You know you want this ass, nigga, but I'm not even gonna give it to you, okay? Because your baby mama, she be licking it, okay? It's all for her. And he's like, bro, you're being mad weird right now. I was like, nah, you're being weird. Show me a picture of this guy, since apparently he's just like the most perfect man in the world. He's like, nah, bro, I'm not doing that. I was like, what? If he's so beautiful, if he's this amazing man, he's so much more desirable than me, I have to see it, okay? I'm gonna have to see it with my eyes to believe it. And he's like, nah, bro, like back up for real. I was like, man, whatever, I'm getting out of here. I'm not very confrontational, I left. I just know under the right circumstances, I could have seduced this guy. Okay, if I wasn't sleeping with his baby mama, I definitely could have been in there. Trust. And also, again, think, why is he so concerned about me sleeping with his baby mama? Okay, like he's gotta know. He's gotta see it within me. So I ended up going home in defeat. Okay, fuck that guy. And my girl, she was like, "Oh, like, are you okay?" Because she didn't know what I did, obviously. I'm like, "Nah, like, don't even worry about it. Like, I'm not in the mood for things. Okay, it just didn't feel good. That was such a negative interaction for me. But I knew that I had to see the guy. Okay, I was like, I have to see what this guy looks like. So then, like, I waited a little bit later, so it wasn't obvious. That was what I was upset about. And then I asked her, I was like, "Yo, like, the man that your husband cheated on you with, like, did you know? Like, do you know who he is?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Can I see him?" And she was like, "Why?" I was like, I low-key, like, I just want to know. She's like, "Why do you need to know?" I was like, "Girl, just like curiosity. Like, I can't be a curious man." Anyways, she ended up showing me. And when I tell you, this is just a normal looking Mexican man. Like, just a, and I do not mean Mexican in a derogatory way. I just mean like, he just happened to be Mexican. Okay? And he was handsome. Like, he was a good looking guy, but he just, like, looked normal. Like, it wasn't some, like, this isn't like some, like, stunning man that I'm like, "Oh, okay, it makes sense. I can't compete with that." This man, he was no me. He was no me in the facial department. I feel like maybe there was an emotional connection there. Like, maybe they started off as friends. Because that guy, he used to, oh man, let me not give too many details out about his life in case people know. But basically, there's a situation where I feel like he could have gotten to know him and then, like, catch feelings for him like that. So I don't really feel too bad. But it's just like, just like I looked at him, I saw the guy, I'm not impressed. Okay? Like, he could do better. He couldn't do me. Okay? But, like, I feel like he should want to do me. You know what I mean? It was one of those things. But yeah, anyways, I think, that's pretty much all. But yeah, things with me and the baby mama didn't work out, obviously. And the kid, he was kind of weird. Like, it's just, the whole, like, how I told you the whole thing about, like, the bag was, like, maroon, but he's calling it red. He just did a whole bunch of stuff like that. Like, just, like, stupid shit. And it's like, nigga, grow up. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's all, Appreciate y'all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, everything I have to say. Sorry for having to say that. But, yeah, I appreciate you. Look at these rings I just got. I want one on my index right here. Or if not on this index, I want another on this hand. But, like, I feel like it's almost there. You know what I mean? Like, we're getting there. But anyways, have a great day. Lovely, lovely evening, whatever.